Although summertime is usually more about new project announcements than the releases, especially the big games, this June has been super rich in new releases and the number goes even higher on Android and iOS. There's over 25 amazing new games you should definitely try this week. Alright, first of all, after nearly 2 years of waiting, Granada Free City is finally out globally, and it's pretty much everything you dreamed of and then some. In fact, this open world gangster adventure game lets you run pretty wild with stealth assassinations, insane car chases, and just non-stop shootouts. You can squad up or roll solo, this is yours to conquer. The customization's next level, it's got deep options to flex style, weapons, rides, rivals, it's all there. I mean, the game's non-stop PvP and PvE actions make every run feel like a fresh journey, and if you want total freedom to cause chaos and show off, Free City just dropped and it is amazing. It's online, about 4 GB in total. This has been over a year so far, but finally, Crystal of Atlan just dropped worldwide and it is straight fire. This MMO action RPG hits with over 10 different classes and zero gacha BS. You get all classes unlocked, no pay to win nonsense. It's got magic, punk, a clean combat, crazy combos, and some super dope graphics as well. Team-based dungeons and PvPs are pretty tight, especially with Team Liquid back-end events and streamer battles going on. The world's got mad atmosphere and it's got a solid story as well. To say the least, if you're into deep customization and skill combos, this one's worth jumping into.
Let's party!
Off-Road League Online, on the other hand, is what happens when mobile off-roading gets serious. We're talking a massive open-world, console-tier graphics and physics that actually feel like you're yanking a heavy rig through the mud. Whether you are splashing through rivers or crawling with rocky hills, it just nails that dirty, satisfying off-road vibe. There's full customization, a real economy system, and online modes that go from chill exploration to absolute mayhem. It's surprisingly deep, super polished, and honestly, way better than it has any right to be. Solar Justice, on the other hand, feels like NetEase's big swing at building the next global Wuha obsession, and honestly, it looks like they might pull it off. It's an open-world MMORPG that's not just about grinding mobs. This game is packed with ray-traced visuals, dynamic weather, AI-driven NPCs that actually remember you, and over 100 hours of solo content if you're not into partying up. You've got guild wars, romantic systems, duels, the whole package. It blew up hard in China and now it's prepping for global release. If you've been waiting for a mobile MMORPG that doesn't feel like a cash grab, this one's got serious potential. Moving on to number 5, we've got Punch TV Ultimate Fight Show, which is, come on, it's straight up one of the cleanest offline brawlers I've seen on mobile. I mean, it feels like old school arcade meets slick modern fighting. You climb this massive tower with over 70 different stages with all kinds of twists, tag teams, 1v1s, full on free-for-alls, and the roster is actually insane. There's over 50 different fighters to choose from. PvP's legit. No pay to win junk, just skill. Plus, you can team up in real-time co-op or solo it with AI. It even runs rollback netcode if your ping's solid, controller support, offline play, and zero mayhem in fights. Just clean hits and hype moments. Honestly, this one feels like a sleeper gem. With that being said, Figment 2 is definitely not just a game. It's a playable symphony set inside your own mind, and it's finally made its way to iOS. In this game, you are Dusty, the literal voice of courage, battling surreal nightmares that scream your self-doubt through full-blown musical boss fights. Each encounter is part puzzle, part rhythm game, part emotional gut punch, with reality-bending world states like open-minded and closed-minded, and environments that sing, dance, and transform with every step. This isn't just a sequel, it's a mind trip worth taking. FIFA Rivals isn't your average football sim here. It's more like a football-themed social playground. Like, you're not just controlling players on the pitch, instead, you're teaming up with the real people, trading football cards and launching attacks in these fast matches. The real fun of the game actually kicks in during live multiplayer matches and national competitions where teamwork is just basically everything. You can train, level up, customize your squad, and even lead your favorite nation to glory. It's all about strategy, community, and actually showing up when it counts. Perfect if you want football with a twist. Eclipse Soul is that dark fantasy AFK RPG that goes harder than you'd expect. You've got these weird glowing fruit giving people powers, and you're the only one that's pulling the strings. I mean, look, the game throws a fat stack of rewards at you early on, like over 2,000 free draws, and your squad grinds while you're off doing whatever you want. The battles feel like a mix of strategy and chaos, with grid-based team setups and pretty flashy ultimates, heroes, soldiers, bosses, PvP, castle upgrades. It's got a lot going on, but it keeps things chill and satisfying. Definitely one for idle RPG fans to watch. With that being said, Mirren Star Legends is if you missed it, is a turn-based RPG that fans of Octopath Traveler will definitely vibe with, offering even deeper team synergies and skill variety. First of all, the game is finally available and it's global as a strategic anime RPG with some polished visuals and a hefty 6 GB size. Originally, it was known as Millennium Tour before it shut down. It is now back, revamped, playable online only. It's a decent turn-based anime RPG with a big size. Plays online, like I said, and definitely one of the good-looking games in the list. If you love story-driven strategy RPGs with rich lore and anime aesthetics, Mirren is definitely worth your time. Crunchyroll members, though, get extra perks as well. At number 10, we've got Drift Racing 3v3. It just dropped and it is super wild. You get officially licensed beasts like Porsche 911, GTR, and Bugatti, all tuned for some insane 3v3 drift battles. The tracks are insane, from LA streets to even Antarctica. Each course looks unreal, but the real kicker is you can team up with friends all random races worldwide thanks to real-time chat translation. So no language barriers, killing any kind of vibe. Races are pretty short and hype, just 3 minutes, perfect for quick adrenaline bursts, plus every car's got unique ultimate moves to wreck the track. If you love fast, stylish racing, this one is a must-play. With that being said, on second hands, Pole Masters, the most downloaded game in the list recently, I would have to say ain't your average 8-ball game. It is definitely next-gen showdown with some stunning realism, global PvP, and now finally dragons. Thanks to a wild collab with DreamWorks, How to Train Your Dragon, you can unlock these epic dragon-themed queues like Toothless and Stormfly, each packing their own unique gameplay boosts as well. The physics are on point, the leaderboard is brutal, and there's even a queue marketplace so your wins actually mean something. And whether you're here for slick trick shots or legendary collectibles, Pool Masters does bring the hit, and then some. With that being said, Patch Quest just landed in Crunchyroll's Game Vault, and it's definitely not your typical dungeon crawler. This one's a wild mix of bullet hell chaos, monstertainment, and Metroidvania exploration, all wrapped in a weirdly adorable hand-drawn universe. You're diving into the lost island of Patchlands, lasso in hand, where every beast you wrangle becomes your next power-up. It's got co-op, evolving zones, and over 50 monsters to tame. If Pokemon and Enter the Gungeon had a baby, this would be it. And it actually works. With that being said, Box Set actually caught us off guard with a new patch update, and it is a better game now in every single way. First of all, it starts simple, and then the game totally pulls you in with the action. It's that kind of zombie shooter where every run feels like a gamble, like maybe you're slicing through hordes with a katana, maybe you're torching them with a flamethrower, but either way, it feels pretty good. Weapons hit hard, movement snappy, and the roguelike loop keeps it pretty fresh. The enemies don't just rush, they swarm, and it gets wild fast. You're constantly upgrading, swapping gear, and trying to outlast the zombie madness, and it's surprisingly strategic once it ramps up. This game has been downloaded over 1 million times. With that being said, Hello Kitty Merch Match is here to fill your screen and your heart as well, with all things Shiro. This is an adorable match 3 puzzler that just lets you swap in through a cluttered pile of cute stuff to collect over 1,000 pieces of virtual merch. It's a pretty fun dream and a puzzle game come true. It's a pretty casual one in nature. If you've ever wanted to hoard Shiro gear without breaking the bank, this is definitely your kawaii fix. It's out now on Android and iOS for free. Give it a shot. At number 15, we've got over here Ice Slime. It's the kind of game that flips the usual RPG script by pulling a gooey little hero at the center of it all, and somehow it works. You start off as a simple slime, but with over 30 classes to mess with, you can swap between warrior, mage, or something more bizarre on the fly. It's an idle RPG, so you're gonna be grabbing loot and gear even when you're offline, but there's still strategy with dungeons, tower defense, and class builds. It's quirky, weirdly stylish, and honestly, kind of awesome. Axolotl, on the other hand, is a pretty messy little roguelike where you play as an axolotl with an AK. I mean, look, the game is weird, it's pretty cute, and it absolutely goes hard. The combat's fast, fluid, totally bonkers, in short, every run feels like a new story itself. It's one of those games that makes 0 sense on paper, but totally works once you're in. It's got randomized biomes, bullet hell mayhem, ridiculous power-ups, and baby axolotls that somehow grow up into tiny war machines. What a game.
언젠가 이 대지 위에서 함께 살아가는 모두와 만날 때까지.
Oh yeah, at number 17 we finally got to try Remake White Shadow when it dropped recently globally, and I'm gonna be honest, it feels like a someone mashed up Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail, which sounds kinda dope, but I'll tell you what, the game's world is pretty, and the gameplay hits that tactical gacha vibe, but the real kick here is that it's pretty smooth, even though it was just in its soft launch. The servers are kinda shaky, that's the thing, but the game does have potential, no doubt. Right now it's a little rough around the edges. If you're into gacha, keep an eye on it, but don't expect a one-of-a-kind ride just yet. Alicia the Astral Fall is shaping up to be one of those mobile RPGs that might actually go hard. Look, it's an open world fantasy RPG set in a realm called Solaria, where you lead a team of heroes against this creeping cosmic threat called the Void. The world looks huge. It's got 6 different regions, all packed with its own lore, quests, and monsters that honestly look sick. Combat's real time with different roles and elemental combos, plus there's offline rewards, which is always a win. And you've got base building, gear upgrades, seasonal events as well. It is officially dropping on Android and iOS next month, and if it sticks the landing, this could be one of the big ones. With that being said, Night Slasher's Remake brings back the old school bloody arcade madness, and honestly it does a good job doing it. This game is a horror themed fighting or a beat 'em up game where you punch werewolves, zombies, and all kinds of nasty things in the face. The remake though gives it a fresh coat of paint with better controls, upgraded visuals, and even a new soundtrack if you're into feeling the 90s vibes. You start with one character in the free version, but unlike the full game, gets you more heroes, levels, and cool gameplay tweaks as well. It's gory, goofy, and a blast in short bursts, just the way beat 'em ups should be. No Way Home has officially escaped Apple Arcade and is now loose on iOS for everyone. This is a twin-stick space shooter from SMG Studio, which is more than just about reflexes. It's got heart, hand-drawn charm, and a wild storyline as well. You're the only survivor of a wrecked ship, stranded deep in alien space with just your AI companion and whatever you can scavenge. Between hectic shootouts and calm moments of exploration, you will piece together missions and chart a course home, if there even is one. It's chaotic, lonely, and oddly beautiful. At number 21, Hell Climb Racing 3 is finally here as well, and it's kinda taken the fun of the original to a whole new level. Now this time, you're racing on bumpy tracks with up to 4 players, pulling stunts, popping wheelies, and trying to faceplant in with rock. It's got tanks, bikes, cars to unlock, and thousands of ways to customize them, or you can basically create your own favorite perfect ride. Look, whether you are grinding solo in adventure mode or climbing the ranks multiplayer, this one is pure off-road madness, and your pocket is coming out to iOS as well soon. After about 2 years in early access, Mutants Genesis is finally out on a global scale, and it's like Pokemon meets Hearthstone in a sci-fi universe that legitimately slaps hard as possible. If you're into card battlers, this one is worth checking out, that's to say the least. It's got PvP, solo, a full campaign, plus full cross-platform play so you can bounce between phone, tablets, and PC without a hitch. This game is all brains, no autopilot, it's tactical, weird, fun. Mutants Genesis is the greatest card battler in recent history that's dropped on Android.
Shinnosuke!
At number 23, we've got Shin-Chan, Shiro Coal Town, which is a pretty slow burn action adventure with a lot of soul. This game is not about winning, it's about wandering. You fish, farm, talk to weird people, chase bugs, and just exist in a Showa era dream. The vibe is pure nostalgia core, so it hits hard, it's cozy, not dull at all, full of these tiny details that reward your curiosity. It's definitely inspired by the Ghibli studio works, it's got a decent writing, the whole thing feels like flopping through a summer diary, no grinding, no pressure, just Shin-Chan being a legend in a weird world that feels pretty real. Easily one of 2025's most slept on gems. With that being said, Kings League Clash of Captains is this wild new mobile football manager that's basically mixing real-time multiplayer with this fantasy league mayhem. You're building your own team, obviously, use power-up cards like double goals, second penalties, facing squads backed by big names, and you've got drafts as well. Stadium picks and even highlight reels that make it feel like you're on sports TV. So basically it's not a game about just stats, it's about strategy, crushing your rivals worldwide, new events, rewards, missions, do keep it fresh every week. If you're into fantasy football with real-time heat, this one might actually be kind of fire. And last but not least, we've got a game called Goods Hunts Hole at All, and it's like if a black hole and a shopping cart had a baby. Look, the game's pretty addictive. You roll through a colorful supermarket, sucking up everything from watermelons to coins, and the twist is that you've got to stick to your shopping list. But you grab the wrong item and the game is basically over. It's part puzzle, part chaos, with power-ups, events, and even leaderboard competition. Super chill, oddly satisfying, and way more fun than the actual grocery shopping.